What is up, beings of the multiverse? Good to see. Good to be. It is Dilly D hanging out here with Amutha et al.
Hey,
And friends. What's up? How we doing?
and Jake.
Jake Epps in the background. They know you. Some of these people have definitely seen Jake Epps do his thing.
Sure.
I'm sure. Big ups to Judge Judy, Slayer.
Judge Judy.
Now following us. Can you believe it? Good times, great classic hits all
Thank
round.
you, Judge Judy. Appreciate your work.
Appreciate your work. Talking about appreciation and work and getting grounded, I guess really the only way to start this kind of thing is to acknowledge the ground that we are, recording upon. So just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians, not owners of this land, the Boonwurrung and the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Love to acknowledge elders and leaders in the community emerging, and would love to share my gratitude for being able to have this conversation on sacred ground.
Yeah, I love that addition of gratitude. I think that, I would like to incorporate focus of love in the acknowledgement. I think, we do focus on the kind of heaviness of all the negative repercussions of actions, whereas like also incorporating gratitude is like sending blessings, sending love, sending compassion, transmuting that energy into something positive as well. I think is really just, it's beautiful. It's a process.
Agreed. And I like the fact that this kind of acknowledgement is, I guess, open to your individual interpretation and how you like to connect with it.
Yeah. How you going, Dilly?
I'm hanging in there. Give me one tick. What I am going to do, I'm going to quickly close my window. I do live close to many other people, and my voice could be so radiant and powerful that it could almost disturb, potentially, the neighborhood. And there's a bunch of them coming through.
Boom out.
So I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. And so while he's gone, I'm just going to be sitting here, chatting away. Don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying nothing right now. These are just words filling the air that mean absolutely nothing, and he's back.
The words that fill the air. Sometimes silence is deafening, so I appreciate hearing something.
No worries. That's all I can offer to the world. Just not complete silence.
That's bloody rubbish. God, the things that you offer. But yeah, to come back to the question, I'm not bad. I'm pretty good today. Yeah, I feel like I've got a little bit more focus and purpose recently.
Nice.
What I've done that's helped with that is just calling and talking to people, including yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, if that's the thing that is missing, which is what I felt was missing mostly, you just go out and get it.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my God. I feel like after that lockdown we had right before this one, I think the conclusion I came to after that was like, I didn't realize how much I needed community. I've gone kind of my whole life just being a bit of a lone wolf,
Yeah.
Sometimes by choice, sometimes not, growing up and having friends sometimes and not other times, and then just being like, I can't really rely on other people to give me that sense of, I guess, not completion, but like, yeah, community. And then, getting older and realizing, oh, I was just running around circles that maybe weren't in alignment with my values. And now I found people who let me respect my space, but also when we come together, we're there with each other. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So like going through that lockdown and feeling a bit isolated, and then coming out of it and just having that moment together at State of Oscillation that was like just the most full-on party, like the last hurrah before this lockdown was primo.
It was
So
primo.
good.
It was in such stark contrast to what we had in the lead up to it, and the ebbs and flows and the experience of going out and trying to do gigs and performances, and it not being ideal in terms of capacity and all these exterior things, right? And then
Yeah.
we finally had this moment of packed space, great vibes. Everyone did plenty of things to do, and everyone definitely enabled to be in their element and enjoy themselves.
Yeah. And just shout outs to Tandem Reserve because they brought the vibes. Absolutely. Like every time we do those, like I say every time, like we do it all the time. We've done two so far,
Mm-hmm.
but both times the entire day, which is like 10 hours, has been non-stop vibes. Like
Yeah.
there's not been a single time where I've been vibing out to the music and a track comes on and I'm kind of like, oh yeah, not really. Like just the entire time, I'm like, oh, it's like impossibly good.
It is impossibly good. You're right. Big ups and shout outs to Tandem Reserve, the trio that will not stop killing them in the most beautiful way. Um,
So good.
the individual identification of these individuals we're not allowed to disclose, but they're only known as Tandem Reserve, and that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. They come in a trio.
That's it, and they roll in hard and heavy together. They sub in and out. They have got perfect synchronicity, and they're just
It's very
together.
magical to observe. They're like just in full alignment. They like a unified mind, and they're just completely flowing around and in and out of one another.
Yeah, more unified than Hive, right? There's yeah.
It,
Shout outs to Saskia giving love in the chat there. Little purple love heart for us. Purple's probably my favorite color, so I feel like that's
oh, me too. I love
yeah.
purple.
Oh, I forgot to inquire. You said yesterday, I believe, you were going to dye your hair, or the other day.
Look, it's
Yeah, okay.
kind of a bit of a botch job. I haven't been able to wash it out properly. It stained my scalp, so I think one more wash and it will come out. So it was blue on the
Yeah.
bottom, radiant, and then on the top,
Wow.
I don't think I left it in for long enough, but we've done layers of purple. So there's like a light purple layer, and then a layer on top of that that's a bit darker, and then a layer on top of that which is a bit darker. But then when I put my hair down completely, like you can't. I guess you can. Actually, you can
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, you
But
can.
then
It does come through. That's really
there's.
cool.
Thank you. It's not properly been colored though.
I think you've nailed the ideal feminist Viking look. The feminist
Hey,
shield maiden look.
Miss Viking. That is exactly.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you know?
Well,
How did you know, Billy?
it's what I've always wanted to be. You know what I mean? So,
Of course, that makes perfect sense.
yeah.
Is that wine? Not wine. Is that a whiskey or juice? I can't tell.
It is not wine. It is neither whiskey nor juice, though it's closer to a juice than a whiskey because it's a
Okay.
cider.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. All right, cool.
Yeah.
How's it taste?
If the sun's out, I'll drink cider. But if it's typical Melbourne weather, probably
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a whiskey or something. It tastes alright. It's overly sweet, but I feel like that helps me to artificially smile for the camera. You know what I mean?
The sweetness, not the alcohol.
Oh well, definitely the combination now. Oh, that's so funny. Amutha,
Mm-hmm.
thank you by the way for coming on board the welcome my show.
The Dilly Train.
This stream, the Dilly Train, and welcome to Twitch. I don't know if you've ever been on
I
Twitch
have.
before.
I've dabbled. Okay, can I tell you a really random story that
Please.
only Rye knows? Only Rye, actually.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to disclose any like specific details, but what I will say is that a little while back there's a famous, semi-famous Twitch streamer. I can't give away too much of what he
That's
does.
fine. That's
It's very
fine.
unique.
Yeah.
Anyway, he put out a thing of like, hey, if you want to be involved with me, send me a message. And then I did, and then he ended up saying, okay, can you send a video of why you want to go on a date or something like that? And I was like, I don't really, but also I want to be a part of what you're doing, so
Yeah.
let me do this.
A date
And I
with
gave
him?
no,
Okay.
no, I wish. It was just like he would take your personality from the video and he'd pair you up with someone and just like,
Oh,
go.
wow.
And then he'd chime in every once in a while with like his commentary. He's like, oh, why don't you guys talk about this? Or can I know more about that? Like he'll just chime in. But I think the guy he paired me up with, because I'm, a bit of a shit talker, you know me. So I kind of wanted
Uh-huh.
someone to banter with. And the guy was a bit straight edge, he was a
Oh
beekeeper.
no. He was a
Yeah,
beekeeper.
beekeeper.
That is quite straight edge.
So I was doing a lot of the chatting and I was trying to like kind of joke around and stuff, but he was giving me real like proper answers because he was really trying for the date and I wasn't. I was just like there for the bands. Um,
Mm.
and then I heard his commentary afterwards and he was like, yeah, she's definitely friend zoning him. Like there's nothing, there's no chemistry here. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much exactly right. So
That's quite a unique idea for a live dating show. That's really cool. That's quite innovative.
yeah, it was interesting to be a part of as well. The if I could just, do a bit of cloud chasing for a moment.
Please.
I don't know because I haven't seen it recently, but I'm pretty sure that video has about 10,000 views, which is ridiculous.
Damn, Amutha. You're wrecking those views.
I was, but then I didn't, I was a part of me wanted to kind of use the platform because a lot of people were vibing with me. I thought they'd,
No
I didn't
doubt.
think they would. I was like, no, really, I was just like, they're gonna think I'm lame, but I don't care, whatever. But yeah, I was very surprised that people were like, "Oh, she's really cool. Want to get to know her." And I was like, "I really want to slide my Instagram on here," but then I'd feel like I was using him, and that wasn't the point. The point was I wanted to be a part of this experience,
Right,
so I
right.
didn't do it. But
It wasn't about
missed
you. It was about the bigger show at hand. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right or organic at any point.
Mm. Still a cool experience, and yeah, you've got the clout for the 10K, and
Yeah.
hopefully there's some residual viewership from that might trickle on here. But also, have you considered doing anything on Twitch at all?
Um.
Because you're a good streamer. Like I think you're a good live stream performer. I know it's not the same, but I think you're quite good at it.
I don't know, man. Okay. I'm at this point where like maybe because it's like another thing to do and I guess if I was stepping in to do it I'd want to be super motivated not just like kind of doing it and
Right,
just like hoping something comes from it because
bumbling along.
yeah there's like little pockets of projects that I really am like emotionally and spiritually invested in and I feel like taking my attention away from them too much might I'm lessening the amount that I can put into it and I
Right.
kind of want to keep space open for like anything to happen with these projects. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I've never considered it. I don't know what I'd do. I
Yeah. Well, it seems a little bit vague and broad because obviously the platform's mainly built around game streaming, gaming.
mm,
But there's two categories. There's like one big broad category for music, and I
right.
think a large percentage of that is DJs.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
So
kind of cool.
I think that really works because these DJs have got their setup at home. They've got a good like visual thing happening.
Right,
They've
right.
got all the audio and computer and set up. It's all there, good to go. All they need to
Mm.
do is like turn on the webcam or whatever it is, and
Oh, that's really dope.
yeah, they're
And
laughing.
vibe out. Just do a DJ set. People tune in and they're like, yeah, put it on in the background of the party.
Right,
It's pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Or they feel like, everyone in their bedroom can party along. Yeah, so
Yeah.
many. So there's that. That seems to be the main slice of the music pie, but there's people who
Mm.
would live stream making beats, recording stuff, doing Ableton or Pro Tools. A lot of like people on guitars or keyboards, just with the mic doing their thing.
Yeah.
Um, but all of the setups are really good, and the quality of the stream overall is
Mm.
pretty high, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's not too much, and there's also like a podcast segment as well, kind of, and there's like a
Right.
just chatting section as
Mm.
well, and I feel like this is almost like just chatting, maybe more than music. It's hard to know like where,
Yeah.
yeah, what the categories are.
So you're unfolding as Twitch is unfolding because I feel like Twitch isn't established in what it is yet. Like there are kind
Mm.
of there's patterns forming, but it's not really like it's not like YouTube. I mean
Right.
YouTube's like a mixed bag of everything though.
It is a
But
mixed bag.
yeah,
It's not as precise, but it is for everything, and it's like a problem and a curse, right? Like with most things.
mm, yeah. Which I feel like with Twitch, it's like it has these kind of more like gaming is like the thing, and then there's
Right.
other things as well that are maybe emerging or trying to figure themselves out in this
Uh,
crazy Twitch world.
absolutely. The keyword there is, yeah, emerging. You're right. Like, um, yeah, we haven't like scoped it or mapped it out in terms of what it could be and who could
Mm,
use it.
yeah.
Yeah. So, part of this show, there's a few elements of this show. I feel like now we're a little bit quote unquote grounded to plug the
I
name
feel
of the show.
grounded. Hmm.
And it's more you than the cider for sure.
Woo!
um,
Woo!
what is part of the show which is happening now, just very faintly in the background, is this playlist of like My Eyes on the Scene.
You know, Dilly, I feel like I can't hear it,
That's
man.
fine. That's fine. It'll be coming through for the stream. Um,
Okay.
it's just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have to re-invite you on the thing. I'll try it.
No, I don't know. My setup is not the most ideal.
I'll
I don't know
invite.
where the music could be coming from.
Try that.
Okay,
I've just got a
so
faint in the background, and hopefully it won't like.
join.
Is it loud on your end?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
I think in the Spotify app you might just have to like bump that volume all the way down potentially.
Can you hear it?
I just paused it because I knew it was blaring on your end.
Do you want to try it again?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it.
That's good. You can't, or you can.
I can. Okay, I don't even need to use these, and they
Yeah.
serve no purpose. I just had that in because I thought maybe it would come through there, and I was waiting for you to play something, and I was like,
It's just
wait.
very faint in the background. So if people are like listening with headphones, they'll be like, "Oh, it's kind of like something's happening in the background."
Okay, that's cool.
So,
That
you are on this playlist. Your track Western Techno,
yes.
which I do, love and enjoy most, if not all, of your tracks. But this one particularly stands out to me. The reason why it stands out is like you have a really cool way of talking from perspectives that almost are not your own. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's funny. I was gonna say not really,
Okay.
because I'm just making stuff, and sometimes when I reflect on what I've just made, it makes sense in my life. But
Okay.
sometimes I make stuff and I'm like, where did you come from? Who's speaking through this? And I've realized like maybe someone's had a conversation with me and I've channeled that conversation and it's gone into the lyrics for this track, for example.
Right. Okay.
So
So
that, I guess, is me answering your question in a weird way.
the meaning and the perspective is almost ambiguous or unknown potentially.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying. Okay. Cool.
yeah.
That aside, I think the track's cool. I do think it embodies this like quirky alternative approach to production and expression. It's fresh. It's fresh sounds. So you are on this playlist. Yeah, please brush all that dust
Dust
off the
them
shoulders.
shoulders
That's
off.
it. That's it. I'd love to give you the opportunity to add somebody to the list, to add a track from an artist kind of in the Melbourne scene.
I don't know if you already have this track, but I really love it. It's Hellcat by Ivory Archer.
I hate to spoil the fun, but it is already shout outs to Ivory Archer, who
It's a banger.
probably next week is going to be up on this show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is a banger.
she
You're
is,
right.
she's a hero. She's a hero to all of us. She's super supportive.
Yeah.
Um, and just like, yeah, she's everyone's number one fan. It's really sweet and beautiful. Like, and she puts so much good energy out there, I really appreciate that about her. Like that's and it's all genuine,
It's
not really expecting anything in return. She's just like, I just love and appreciate you and I want to show you that.
um so well said. She is like she's everyone's number one fan, or at least the people that she gravitates towards, and I think we're lucky that she's gravitated towards us, and some other people from the Vibe Union crew,
Mm-hmm.
or the whole Vibe Union crew, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was actually talking with her last night on the phone for about an hour or so,
Oh,
just to like, well, also there was like a little bit of planning for music videos.
Yeah.
But also just to touch base as well. I guess
Mhm.
you know, for both of us. But yeah, I had a great chat with her. It was really
Mhm.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the kind of the way that she sees steps forward through these times is just further commitment to the creation and doing it
Mm.
for the service and the love and continuing to believe and soldiering on in
Yeah.
that way.
That's
So
it.
yeah, and I feel like she embodies that both like on and off the stage.
Mm.
She's just like this cool, strong mentor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Um, so yeah, Hellcat is her most
Okay.
recent single.
Let
Um,
me have a think then. Well, look, I don't know if you sent me the playlist, but I couldn't really find it, man. So I don't
okay.
know if there's any way of me accessing it right now.
Yeah. This should be what I'll do. I'll just copy a link
And then I can
to
tell
you
it.
in Discord right now.
Sweet
Give me a little ticky.
admin stuff that we should have figured out earlier, but you get to watch it on the stream. How cool! You're in on the behind the scenes from the screen. Isn't that amazing? What an opportunity.
See it on the
What?
fly. See it on the fly. See
That's
it on the
it.
fly. See it on the fly. All right, here we go. It should be
Alrighty,
in the.
received. Excellent.
So I think from
Okay.
there you can just scroll through just on Discord and see what's there.
Oh, okay. Oh, To Me, Stress Less, that's a banger.
Uh huh.
I really like that track. Um, oh, you got some good stuff on here.
Yes. Tell them. Let them hear it. Let them know I'm doing a service for
Oh,
the people.
you really are. Oh, you got, dude. Oh my God, you got
Mango
okay,
nectar.
sriracha.
Yeah.
So
Tell me your. Do you know anything about it? Tell
let me
me,
tell you something right
please.
now. I'm gonna tell you a whack story. Okay.
Fuck
So
yeah.
basically, I used to work at Officeworks, as you know.
Uh huh.
And when I was like a bit of a senior team member, she comes in and
Yeah.
she starts under my wing. I'm like training her and stuff. And
Cool.
then she comes in the tail end of me being there. So maybe she gets to know me for a little while and then I dip. But in that time, she just formed this like kind of connection with me and adoration for me. Cause I guess maybe I don't like if I can be completely blunt,
Please.
I think it's the fact that I'm like Asian and I have a personality. Horrible thing to say, but that's what it was. She's Asian too. So she could relate. She's like,
Sure.
I have this probably, excited build personality, and I feel like a lot of us don't really have that. And she
Mm.
had that with me, and then she found out I did music, and then it blew her mind even more because she's like, oh my God, I'm trying to be a musician. And then I told her, like, at that point, I was only rapping because my brother listened to me singing once and then told me to never do it again. And it cut deep. And I actually stopped singing because of that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so
And
brutal.
so for like years, I just didn't sing at all. But anyway, so this was when I was just purely rapping. And she asked me what I did. And I was like, oh, I rap. And she's like, oh my God, you rap? And at this point, she was doing like ukulele music and singing. I swear
Really? She's
it
doing
was because of me. I birthed her straight up.
well.
She went.
This is a revelation. This is a true insight. Because I think that like, because yeah, she's got a wild personality and she's got dope attitude. I mean, this is just like from me listening to her stuff. I don't actually think I've seen her perform live. Maybe only videos, but I've been
Mm,
aware of her like in this scene for
yeah,
2 or so years. So
yeah.
this happened. Was it 5 or so years ago? You were
Asian. Yeah,
7
yeah.
more.
Maybe oh dude, okay, how old? I'm 20, I'm turning 28,
Yeah.
and I left Officeworks when I was like 23. So yeah, 5, 6 years ago maybe.
And she hadn't started, but she probably started soon after, and you were probably one of the key influences.
Look, I was
Aside from
saying it,
her listening to J. Cole or whatever the fuck else, she listens
but
to.
I will say at the point when we were talking, she was doing music on the ukulele
Yeah.
and singing, and she was very cute. She was adorable. She
Yeah.
was, you'd look at her and you'd be like, oh, and she's still adorable, but she's got that fire, and that fire I feel came after she made the decision to rap more. And I gotta say, when I mentioned that I rap, the level of surprise and just awe, like it hit me. Like I felt a kind of like I remember, that it was that significant, me passing on that information. I remember her reaction. So
That's
I don't
powerful,
want to
Amutha.
claim, I don't want to claim that I made her, but I made her. I basically made her who she is today.
Do you know like
I'm
how?
sorry.
Do you know how much more that like legitimizes your space on any throne in the scene? Because like, do you follow her and kind of listen to what she puts
Yeah,
out a little
yeah.
bit?
I don't think she realizes, but yeah, I do. I'm curious because I knew her as someone completely different. She was not
Yeah.
this person at all.
Okay. And you've listened to the Arky track of hers, one of her most recent, because that's my
Yeah,
favorite, and I find that so much fucking fun.
yeah.
Um, I feel like even if she had nothing to do with the creative production and everything else, what she brings to it is just super dope
She's
and fun.
talented.
She's really
She's got
talented. Yeah.
she has the expression. She's found her groove and she's like really honing in on it. And she has the way to even present each of the words and the attitude behind the words. I think she's
Yes.
just nailed it. She's got the personality and the character down pat.
Okay. Would you be keen, somewhere in the future, to maybe do like a stream with her and I on here, and like go full 360, and like
I haven't seen it since Office Works. I haven't spoken to her since Office Works, but that would be dope. Yes.
I think that would be crazy. I don't know if you like want to touch base beforehand, or it could be
Nah,
more like
nah.
we,
We'll go
we could do
live.
we could do
I
a
feel.
full surprise.
Yes.
I
Bring me in. Yes.
okay,
You
okay.
just bring me in. I love this.
Look, so
Yes.
okay, so
So yeah.
chances are, because what I'll do in the next week or whatever, I'll reach out to her. I think I've already messaged her like maybe a couple times in the past, being like, "You're dope, keep doing your thing,"
Mhm.
and had, just like thanks, that's cool. Cheers, appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'll ask her, and hopefully, what happens is one, she wants to come on. Two, she doesn't see this,
Right. It's
but
pretty. Oh, right. Man,
but
if she
it,
just checks out your video.
but between now and then there'll be a bunch of other videos. Maybe she doesn't scroll back far enough. There's a possibility, and also maybe she sees that you're there but doesn't know about this thing being set
Okay.
up, because this is, I don't
Right.
know, 20, like nearly half an hour deep in the episode. Maybe she doesn't listen to it all. Maybe she's just like, oh cool, I remember
That's a
fucking
very cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see what we can do. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, me too. That's unbelievable,
It's
Amutha.
pretty random. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that she's the prodigy child, but I think she's fucking great.
Yeah. No, she gives me a real Doja Cat vibe.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've been messing up all of your recommendations from Ivory Archer to Little Sriracha. So I don't know if you've got anything else. But while you do that, I haven't got Little Sriracha on the map. So maybe I'll put her on the map here.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Very
So
nice.
while I'm doing that, yeah, think about a track to add to the playlist.
Okay, I think I already do know, actually.
Amazing. Give me one seckie. Sriracha.
Oh, yeah. No, I do know. I do know what I like.
Cool. Just whack her up here.
So can I see this map? Where is it?
You'd have to
How's that?
bring up
Which?
you'd have to bring up Twitch, I guess, or I can share my screen in a second
Oh,
and zoom in.
don't
But
even stress.
but if I share the screen, then it does that whole like mirroring effect, and it might be a
Yeah,
bit hard to see.
don't worry about
Yeah, cool.
it. Very.
But I can. How about this? I'll go through the map right now. Let's speak it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
So I do have it mildly organized by like north, south, east, west side, but obviously it doesn't really matter too much. It's just
Oh, okay. Literally. All right. Cool. I
yeah,
thought you meant putting them on the map and then it was just that figure of speech. But no, you mean actually putting them on. That's
yeah.
so good. So much better than what I was thinking.
Right. Okay, so I'll go through them from the top. So recently, Wrath suggested Cold Drip. Who's a producer, kind of some
Okay.
lo-fi steez. Sin Santos, who Connor recommended. Another MC in Melbourne. DJ Morn Rath recommended a wild trap producer.
Mhm.
You just put Lil Srirachi on there.
Mm.
So we don't know what side all those four are on, but north
Oh,
side
she would be southeast, I
should be
reckon.
southeast.
I think so.
Is that racial profiling or
No, that's because that's where I used to live, man.
true?
That's where I was working with her.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
It is an assumption, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I feel it.
best we got right now. We can ask her when we're actually talking to her. So, by the way, are we going to like bring up this what I've just told you, what I've just disclosed? Is that
The fact that you feel like you had a
like
hand in,
birth into existence?
yeah. I I think she needs to meet Mummy again.
I think so too. The reunion, the family reunion.
I I don't think I think yeah, I think it's a big thing and she won't see it coming, hopefully, and I think she'll be wrapped.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I liked her a lot. She's like, she's very sweet, she's very funny, but it's been a while since I've seen her, so I don't know how she's changed and stuff, but I assume she's still a dope human being. So I'm very excited to actually see her again after so long. Because
Fuck
I've
yeah.
just been, watching her from afar.
Mm.
Like, see, like, I liked her page, so I get updated when she puts things on, and I'm like, I'm there for it, I'm liking her songs, I'm listening to them, I'm bumping them. But I never thought I'd have the opportunity to like reunite in any way. So this is like,
Yeah.
it's really like tripping me out a little bit.
This is
All
crazy.
happened on the
This is so
screen.
far from being planned. I never had any idea that would be the case. All right, cool.
This is
So
the magic of life.
under north side on the map currently, we've got Wrath, MC
Hmm.
producer, yourself,
Hmm.
Amutha, MC producer,
Cool.
Madstalk,
Oh
MC,
yeah,
Trix William, MC
yeah,
producer,
yeah.
Timmy the B, MC, probably producer, but he's got everyone else serving him whatever he wants. We've got Nuance Trap, who I believe Trix William recommended, who's a producer.
Hmm.
Spike, producer, audio engineer that Connor recommended.
Hmm.
John Quill,
Hmm.
producer, and initially Origin word is that he was an MC from Toomey.
Ooh.
So they're all north and the east side. We've got Connor, MC producer,
Hmm.
Sixpence, MC
Hey.
producer. On south side, southeast, these are kind of whatever.
Mm.
Duan, who I think is one of the hottest Melbourne producers.
He did one of the beats for
Get Down,
down, yeah.
Nomad.
Yeah.
He actually produces. Anyway, he's working with a lot of people who I think are in the thick of it.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
Mikado, of course.
Mm. Yeah, of course.
MC,
Yeah.
recommended by Connor, but everyone else as well. Yeah, and that's it. And Little Sriracha, we already said Little Sriracha, so that's who we've got up on the map so far.
I think it's a crime that we don't have this person I'm about to say.
There's many crimes that have been
This is
committed.
true.
Yeah,
There's
but
not
yeah,
many people on that list. All right, so
who we
I
adding?
had a long think about it, and I was like, MC, good MC, good rapper. Who is it? Who is it? I said, of course, I don't know what he goes by,
Okay.
but I know him as Jason. His
Ah, username
flow.
unknown.
Yes, there we go. Just
Beautiful.
like he's evolved so quickly,
Quickly.
and just the place where he's at right now is phenomenal. Like he's so talented, like insane wordplay, real catchy stuff, amazing flow, and the way, like the confidence that he now presents himself,
Yes.
like with
He's
is
he's
so
steezing
good.
out. He's
He
steezing
is
out.
he's season out.
That
So good.
that's a great shout out. It's a great shout out, and I think that some of the best shout outs are generally associated with growth, with like visible
Mm,
growth. You
yeah.
know, um,
I mean,
and
that just kind of shows that you're putting your heart into it as well. Like you're trying to improve and you're like consciously every day practicing in your own way to like build up the skill set in order to kind of present something that actually helps people connect to it.
yeah, he's all about meaning. He's all about telling his truth, uh, and
Mm.
and and I would say it's closer to the truth because he's just so authentic, and I feel like he is in touch with, some of the, I don't know, some of the bigger ideas, that are available.
He
Uh,
does always debate me on whether love exists. He I don't like I know he's kind of joking and kind of not, but he'll always bring it up with me. He's like, yeah, but like love's not real. Like love's not a real thing. Because he knows I'm gonna react to it. And I do every time.
yeah,
We're meant
he's
to have a whole conversation about whether love is real or not, but that's just the kind of person Jason is.
he's a bit of a provocateur in a way.
He is.
Give me one tick. I'm just going to turn down my mic and readjust my stand. It makes a lot of noise when I readjust it, so give me one sec.
Mhm. Oh, the struggle. Wow, very squeaky. That was almost like an animated squeak. It sounded fake. Just the sound effect that you add in. You got a little sample thingy next to you. You press a button.
It's the button outside, and I'm pretending.
Oh, we're getting an angle change. Maybe that was unintentional though.
Oh, we're good.
No, cool.
Yeah, because through Discord you hear me on the webcam mic, and everyone else hears me on this one.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Because it doesn't want to share, like, two programs. They struggle to share the same input, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just an easier way to do this. Cool, awesome. So we've put Jason on the fucking map. We've got Lil Sriracha in the playlist,
hmm
and
Oh, yes, the song that I wanted to add.
yes,
Now, I don't know if this is already in there, but I'm gonna say it. Burning this house down. Right, Kelsey. Just
Very
was
cool.
listening to it before actually while we were fixing up the room, and yeah, it's just like we actually just stopped and listened to it. It's a good track, and they work really well together. Like Kelsey's like the way that oh my God,
Oh,
Kelsey.
that's off Wrath's Orbits album, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Great recommendation. We've already got just a
She
scratch from Wrath, but this collab and shout outs for
Hey,
Kelsey is the right shit.
Kelsey crushed it. She's so incredibly talented, and the way she like uses melodies and harmonies, and like also now she's getting into production. I don't like when Mash was doing his 21-hour stream, she submitted
I heard
it
it.
was
She gets it.
so good,
She's on it.
phenomenal. I was in disbelief. I was rewatching her beat because I was like, this is unreal. Like she's done such a good job. Some people just got it.
She is surrounded by it, and she already has that musical understanding. It's almost like somebody who's got an eye for things and then figures out how to use Photoshop or whatever.
Right. But still, to apply yourself in the way of you learning to use Photoshop, for example, it still takes a certain kind of, because Ableton, if you open up, it's overwhelming. There's so many buttons and like
Yes.
bits and pieces, and it's like, where do I even begin? So to go from not really dabbling in Ableton at all to being able to produce something like that
Yes.
in the time frame that she did as well is like unreal.
You're right. I definitely agree, because you could even know how to compose, but you open up that software that you've never fucked with before, and you're like, well, I don't know, it's not telling me what to do. And
Yeah.
and I've got 100 questions, and it's going to take at least time to answer all those questions.
Right. Yeah.
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 Cool. That's a great suggestion. Burning this house down. Kelsey Jean and your boy Wrath, aka the Vandal.
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah.
Have you been working on much yourself?
Yeah, man. I've been really getting into like some good vibe music. I'm making a lot of happy music, real positive, real like vibey, a lot of dancehall, Afro beats, a little bit of jazz, neo soul. I'm working with I don't know if you've met Aiden Jacob, keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
killer
Met
keyboard
'em
player,
both.
killer drummer.
You've wrangled quite the crew.
Man, it's been a journey with these two. Like I've kind of like it's ebbed and flowed. Like for us to actually come together and unite in this way, it's been 5 or 6 years in the making. you know and
Mm.
I'm seeing this journey that we've been on together only now from where I sit. With me and Jacob, it's been about like a year. With me and Aiden, it's been about like, yeah, 5 or 6. Because the way I met Aiden was through my ex, funnily enough.
Mm.
But then, yeah, we kind of, we started talking, and then there was mention that he was getting into music, so we vibed out a bit. Then we worked together, and then we didn't work together for like a year, and then we kind of linked up again. And then I was like, you need to meet Jacob. And at this point, I'd known Jacob for a year. And I remember the first time Jacob met me and I saw him drumming at one of our jams, I was super excited. I'm like, yo, can we like do something together? And he was just not interested at all.
Oh,
Because,
truly.
for whatever reason, like maybe he just wasn't feeling my vibe. Maybe he was just in a weird space that day. I don't know. But he was kind of like, yeah, like, the kind of yes you give someone when you don't give a shit about them. He's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll do that. And just left my house. So I was like, yeah, that's chill. Like, I'm upset about it because you're
Mm.
really talented, and that perception has not been changed by this. Like, from at that point, I was like, yeah, obviously you don't want to work with me. I'm nobody. It made sense that he wasn't interested because he was so talented. He's been doing this since age 13. So he's gone on tour at age 16 and stuff like
Wow.
that. So he's been in that world, and I actually just didn't feel worthy of working with him anyway. So I was totally fine with him feeling that way about me.
Maybe
But then
that's
fun
maybe that's what he sensed, and that's what he reacted to
Yeah,
potentially. Yeah.
totally. Totally. He could have just fed off that energy that I was giving out. And then after the year, I kind of just started talking to him again randomly. And then I was like, yo, I have this keyboard player I really want you to meet. I think you guys will vibe. Aiden's super talented, really good improvisational player. And he loves his jazz because I think he flows a lot more with his jazz. So those two came together, and it was just like meant to be. Like they were like the DNA strands that just interlocked, and they were vibing. And I was like, at that point
Right.
in time, I'm like, even if we don't work together, I'm just so glad that I brought these two together. And then at a certain point, I kind of faded into the background and away completely because I was like, I don't know if I'm needed here. And I just didn't, I just didn't want to like, insert myself into this. I felt like my purpose was just to bring them together because they're so amazing. But
Mm.
then, Aiden reached out to me because we're homies anyway. And he's like, "Yeah, what are you doing, man? Like, let's work together. Like, you just kind of dipped." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." Went down to his house. We vibed out for a bit, and then I was like, I want Jacob to come into this space." And then eventually we called Jacob in, and then all three of us kind of merged. And now there's some chemistry between us that's really magical and beautiful. And we needed that time away to kind of come back together a bit stronger. And we're working together really well. We're working on music right now on the Discord. We're like sending files over and stuff. So I just kept running my mouth for the longest time. I apologize. You didn't really ask for that much information, but I'm giving it to you because why not? Excuse me.
Well, that's quite the way to seal that one, wasn't it? Really letting me hear it,
There's
aren't
no
you?
other way. The gas
Nah.
is rising.
Look, I'm the mediator. I'm the facilitator. Hopefully, I'm an enabler in a positive sense.
You
Love,
are,
love,
sure.
love to. Yeah, I love it when people are able to talk on what they're doing. And the three of you, powerful, powerful trio, the trifecta, if you will.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's a good
And
time.
and I think it's interesting for people to hear the fact that sometimes it takes years for a thing to develop where you ideally like it to be.
Oh man, I knew from the moment I met both of them that I wanted to work with them, but I just, maybe it was partly just like a self-esteem thing, like not feeling good enough to work with these very established, very talented musicians.
Right.
Um, so I kind of had to go through my own journey of feeling like I was good enough to jam with them and to vibe out with them. And they also had to understand my intention, like that I wasn't trying to use them for clout. I wasn't trying to like they're not background characters to me. I'm not the front man.
Yeah.
Like that's actually, like, honestly, if I could use a very strong word right now, I find that disgusting. I don't like I look, I guess it works for some people. Maybe some people want to fall into the background, that's fine. But these guys don't. And like they're two very talented artists, and it's like if we're doing this together, we're doing this together. Like you're gonna be there with me you're going to be mic'd up. We're going to be having banter on the stage, and I don't want to have it any other way.
Yeah, I think that's totally the right approach. Yeah, it's a bit backward thinking, the whole idea of like the lead, whoever, when it comes to a band, it's just like
Yeah,
purely a unit. Even I think it's fantastic when drummers are mic'd up and they're able to even if they only pipe in once or twice in a fucking 30-minute set or whatever the hell it is,
yeah,
it's like we know about the drummer. No, we know about the drummer.
yes,
There they are. They're fucking
exactly.
they're part of
They're
the
a
shit.
person that's doing exactly. They're engaged with this entire thing.
Cool. So when do you think you'll be able to share or perform any of the stuff that you work on? I know impossible to predict in these times, but like
Mm.
an estimation, a positive estimation.
Look, we've got about two, like, so in 2 weeks we've done about two tracks because really we've only established ourselves very recently
Yeah.
as a trio, and we're going to work together. So we've done about two tracks so far, and there's still a long way to go. They're kind of drafts, and we once everything opens back up, we're kind of gonna get together, and everything we create, we're gonna polish it a bit more, maybe redo stuff and blah blah blah. So for that to all be at a point of readiness, I think, yeah, it's very hard to say. Maybe like a month or two, for probably not even, because we do have to eventually meet up to do things, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be getting out of here anytime soon.
Does not, Amutha. It does not.
Yeah, yeah, it's strange. It's strange what's happening like right now. It's I mean, we're living through it and it feels normal because we're like, well, this is the natural progression of life and, what is now happening. But to actually step outside of it and really realize that like society has stopped. It has kind of stopped. Like
Yeah, and
a
it
lot of
hasn't
just
it hasn't stopped to come together either.
yeah, yeah, quite literally just isolated. We've stopped and separated into these different sections, and we're like just thinking about ourselves all the time now, and not in a great way.
So well summarized. Thinking about ourselves a lot and not in a great way.
Well, yeah. And look, it's not all bad. Like I was kind of
Don't backtrack, don't
no.
backstep.
I'm
Yeah.
not absolutely not backtracking. I think that what I'm trying to say is that it's a necessary process. I think this is evolution happening in its own way. And like I know a lot of people might hear that and feel very conflicted about receiving that because, it's almost like disrespectful to be saying, oh, but this is just life unfolding and things are happening for a reason. Um, this is my personal outlook on life. I'm not saying it's the objective truth. So, if it offends you, don't listen to me. Like just block your ears or
Yeah.
let my words enter and leave your
Let it
body
go.
affecting you because all you're doing is hurting yourself if you're getting upset over what I'm saying. But from this perspective that I house based on all of the psychedelic experiences that I've had and also real life ones,
Hmm.
um, I feel like what is happening right now, if we were to not be focused through the lens of being human, but to understand it almost on an energetic scale, there is this kind of, disruptive vibe that's going through society. And it's challenging people in a very specific kind of way. And you have the option. You have the option to take up the challenge, or you have the option to let it consume you and like basically lose yourself even more.
Yes.
And it's almost like
Submit to it, I guess.
yeah. So it's called it's not a challenge because a challenge is almost like it implies a good or a bad. It's an offering. It's like here's an opportunity to use this time and use this space uh to grow in a way that is more helpful for yourself and those around you. Or, you could not do that, whatever that means.
Right. Because a lot of choices have been taken away from us, but the choice of personal growth is always very much ours.
Yeah, and we are so distracted day to day with life happening that sometimes we don't have those moments to actually be introspective. Like a lot of people, I would say, instead of like sitting at home and actually like, focusing, meditating, or just like living with yourself, you could be like bored for a moment and be like, oh, let me just hit up my mate. Yeah, let's go for a drive or something, you know? So it's
Mm,
easy to kind of escape the spiritual pathway of like actually knowing who you are and being more connected to your true core values. And then, in that process of, not being connected to that, you start to try and connect to, like you were saying, you're trying to connect to values that you have that aren't actually rooted in anything because, you've just picked them up. Maybe they came from your parents or just learnt behavior, and you're trying
mm.
to uphold something that's not grounded in anything.
There it is. You said it. Not trying to uphold anything that's kind of grounded in anything. And we've been given a whole lot of mediocre substitutes for true core values,
Mm.
and there is certainly a million times more distractions than like a clear path for most people. It's very difficult.
Yeah,
That's I
but
guess
we're
that's a
here.
struggle. It's a struggle that we all certainly face.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, the times that we live in as well, because I guess, I don't want to say this like it's a fact because I don't know, but my assumption um, is that, like, ancient traditions, there is some kind of process of undergoing self-discovery that we kind of lack in society because there's no importance placed on it. We place importance on, like, I don't know, material things or like success. We measure success in different ways, and I feel
Yeah.
like those values that are not tangible have less weight placed onto them because, like, but I don't see my, like, what being a better person, what does that actually mean? Or like being happy or being, like helpful, like that doesn't give me anything I can touch. There's like a different perception or
Yeah.
relate to
As
those things.
compared to part of your life, you should serve people in the way that you best see fit, and in
Right.
turn, some of that will there will be service given back to you in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it is an exchange of vibrations and energy, and it will always come back to you in a way that might not be what you gave out to, like, if you're
Sure.
giving someone a gift, it might come back to you in like a affection or a hug, whatever. But like, I guess, it's about knowing that there is a language that's spoken that maybe we don't have access to when we are, when we're trying to focus on what we want out of life.
Mm. And I guess it's harder for the individual to get their hands on those core values right now because we're not unified in the way that we see everything. So we're not
Yeah.
all sharing those values, which was the way, in pockets of countries or places for millennia, like the
Mm,
sharing of this operating system, that, the culture has,
yes.
where it's like, yeah, these shared collective values and things to anchor and ground people and to kind of tell them or guide them how to like live in life.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's we've heard of storytelling, and I think those morals are kind of taught through storytelling. And they also had those coming of age ceremonies where people kind of would be taken out and taught how to be in a tribe or how to be in a community, how
Hmm.
to relate to people. Like, you're actually taught those social skills. So, that we have lost that art in a way, but I think we're trying to find it in our own ways as well. There is like a reemergence of those values and, like, that appreciation for living in that way, I feel.
Yeah, I tend to agree in terms of the reemergence of those values, and there'll be like a redistribution of those values in a different way, but hopefully similar or same outcome, I guess.
Yeah, yes, I would imagine, because at the end of the day, it is just one thing that this is trying to teach, and it's that, compassion, love is what creates the universe. It's the force that actually brings all this together, and it sounds so arty farty and, like, very yeah, just too abstract, because there's no real way you can't pin it down in any other way. It's a
Yeah,
very
you don't express your experience, right?
yes, that's yeah, That's it. You gotta feel it inside you.
Yeah. And I guess you can share it with others, but it could be difficult to articulate.
Yeah, I mean, things get lost in translation,
Yeah.
just like your own personal relationship with words versus how someone else interprets them. So that's like one layer of it. And then the next layer is the intention in which you say it with. How do you feel connected to what you're saying? Because if you feel connected, this person is more likely to receive it because there is a certain openness, like a channel that you create between the two of you, you know? And like that's also another layer. And then, I'm sure there's more than that, actually. I have no idea. I
No,
just started.
no, you're right. Like I guess like all of those different layers are the context for
Hmm.
sure. And yeah, God, language is bizarre, but I'd rather be able to have access to spells and spelling than not.
Mm, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like having a mutual way of communicating ideas is I have a cousin who has pretty severe autism and can't speak, and just every single day the level of frustration he would experience because he knew he couldn't say what he wanted or what he needed.
Yeah.
Like when he was in pain, he couldn't express it. We had to kind of figure out intuitively what noises he would make. But like, something as simple as a mutual language where we kind of understand what we're saying is like, yeah, such a blessing and kind of mind blowing that, yeah, we have a way of communicating with one another.
It's super mind blowing. Yeah, it really is. Planting ideas and thoughts in each other's head. It's wild.
Yes, actually, I gotta say, Dilly, my favorite movie, Waking Life. I haven't mentioned that a million times.
It's
There is a
definitely one
scene.
of my favorite as well. It's something you got to watch every year. Continue.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's one of those movies you can take something away from it every time. Like every single conversation has so much depth to it. But there's one scene where he's talking to a linguist, sorry,
Yeah.
and she's mentioning how words are inert, so they don't have any meaning until you kind of give them meaning. And she's like, but what I believe happens when you both understand, like truly understand each other, is like I'd consider that a spiritual communion.
Mm,
I was really,
the perfect connection or something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's true though. Like when you're talking to someone and you both feel understood or you feel connected. I don't know if you've ever had the sensation of being almost like a unified mind with someone where
Yeah,
you're
right
bouncing.
now. But like all the time. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like there's something else happening. It's not just these words being exchanged, but there's a different kind of openness, you know? There's a different kind of connection that is allowing the words to translate the way that they're intended to be translated in a sense.
Yeah, it's more intention than the word that comes across
Right.
somehow.
Yeah. Spiritual. Like that's really it's a spiritual process. It's something that's beyond just the inert nature of like the words. It's so
Right.
much more like two pieces of life communicating.
Well, it's closer to an out of body experience because you're out of
Yeah,
your mind. You've joined
yes,
minds.
yes, yeah, yeah. You're no longer embodying or inhabiting the mind. You're using the mind as the tool to communicate the vibe.
Stop blowing my mind.
You're the one doing it.
I
You're the
know,
one.
I know. I'm self imploding, to be honest. Uh, fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It is a good time. Well, I feel like, we've fucking gotten more than grounded. And I
I that too.
appreciate everything you've been able to offer us in this hour, in this session.
Thank you, Dilly. Thank you so much for having me on. I was so stoked when you asked me, and this whole time I've been super stoked. I'm just very excited to be here. So appreciate you, what you're doing for everybody, the person that you are. Straight up, like you are a gem of a human being, and I'm like really fucking grateful that I know you.
Fucking right back at you. I appreciate that. Thank you for calling me a gem. I'll try and keep the
Of
sheen on.
course.
I feel like you're a precious stone also known as a gem.
Amethyst, you know how I do.
All right, cool. Well, people can check you out? Do they just hunt down Amutha on Instagram, Spotify,
Yeah, look,
SoundCloud?
if you feel compelled, and I'm not fussed whether you want to check me out or not.
You're
I
quite
care
compelling, Amutha.
but yeah, Amutha.vibes on Instagram. If you go there, you'll find me. Just hit me up. Just literally message me, and I will talk to you. I
Perfect.
have nothing better to do.
Cool. Well, we've been grounded. I'm Dilly Dave, and yeah, take it easy. Take it steezy.
Thank you,
Bye.
Dilly.
Thank you,
Bye.
Amutha.